At Akanwa State, life was once defined by three things: water, oil, and promises. For generations, its sprawling mangroves fed the nation, a source of life and sustenance. But one rainy morning, the familiar rhythm of the drums stopped. In its place, a silence fell, louder and more terrifying than gunfire. This story begins with a familiar scene: a charismatic leader, Governor Tamuno Briggs, being sworn in amidst thunderous applause. He had won the hearts of the people with his grassroots speeches, promising development, peace, and fairness. But just 6 months into his term, the State Assembly launched a surprise investigation. The charge: diverting funds meant for critical flood control. Behind the scenes, the real story unfolded in hushed whispers and envelopes sliding across polished tables. Loyalties, once declared unbreakable, shifted overnight. In Akanwa, it was said. Loyalty wasn't sworn on the Constitution, but on convenience. The House of Assembly fractured. Two factions emerged, each claiming to be the legitimate voice of the people. The river bloc stood by the governor, while the crown bloc, backed by powerful godfathers and shadowy oil interests, sought his removal suddenly. Akanwa had the speakers, holding the separate plenary sessions in 2 different buildings, each declaring the other illegal. Confusion spilled onto the streets. Radio stations blared conflicting announcements, leaving citizens caught in the crossfire of a political war they never asked for. The consequences were immediate and devastating. Civil servants went without salaries for months. Hospitals, lacking funds and supplies, shut their doors. The youth, their futures uncertain, took to the streets, protesting near the very oil facilities that fueled the state as wealth but offered them no share of it. A young fisherman named Boma could only watch as soldiers patrolled his village, his fishing nets, his only means of survival, rotted by the riverside. He knew the bitter truth: they fight for power in the city, but it's our water that turns red. As the crisis deepened, the federal government issued a stern warning, and rumors of a state of emergency began to circulate. Governor Briggs tried to address the people in a statewide broadcast, but just as he began to speak, the power mysteriously went out across the state. That very night, under the dim flicker of candlelight, the opposition faction, with just 9 lawmakers present, announced the governor's impeachment. By the next morning, Akanwa had 2 men claiming to be its rightful governor. The state was on the brink of collapse. Then everything changed. A leaked audio recording went viral. It was a secret meeting, a candid conversation between political godfathers and oil contractors plotting the entire crisis. The goal was simple: to destabilize the state and seize control of new, lucrative offshore oil blocks. The public's simmering frustration erupted into a tidal wave of anger. Market women, students, traditional rulers, and church leaders marched together. This time, they weren't marching for a politician. They were marching for peace, for stability, for their very lives. For the first time, the people of Akanwa refused to be used as footnotes in the battles of the elite. The courts eventually stepped in. Federal mediators arrived. The political storm began to cool, but deep scars remained. Akanwa had survived, but as the sun rose over the silent mangroves, a lingering question hung in the air. Was this a victory for democracy, or just a calm before? The next tide, this story is fictional, but the lessons are real. Power struggles don't just break governments, they break lives. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that matters.